Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, February 22nd, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie Daytime. Joining me today, we have a Pittsburgh, PA native, and I'm super excited to be interviewing him. This has been long overdue. Joining me today, we have actor, model, and podcast host, marcosluis. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share this live with our very special guest. He is here, ladies and gentlemen, marcosluis. So let's get right into this interview. Today's look is a little sultry, sexy. So shout out to the makeup artist, Melanie Nala, my Bridges, for making sure that we're right each and every day in every episode. So let's get right into this interview, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, give me 1 sec, you guys. I'm trying to add our very special guest. Can you guys see Marco? I don't see him yet. I don't know what's going on with IG today. Are you on your phone or are you on your laptop, Marco? Because if you're on your laptop, it's not going to work, but you have to be on your phone. Because I can't see Marco yet. Can you guys see him? There we are. Welcome to the dollhouse. How are you? Happy
Hi,
Tuesday.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. All right. So before we get into this interview, how has 2022 been for you thus far? How's this year been treating you
Ooh,
thus far?
2022 actually has been good. It's been good so far. I'm back on track.
Yes. And that's for everybody. It took a whirlwind, to transition and go into this whole new year. We're now in the middle, well, close to the end of this month, going into March. So I'm so excited that we're going to be going into something bigger and better. So
Me
without
too.
further ado, let's get right into the journey of how marcosluis began his career. So you grew up in Pittsburgh, PA, am I correct?
Actually, I was born in Nashville, Tennessee,
Okay.
and I moved to Pittsburgh. I went to boarding school in Pennsylvania. So yeah, Pittsburgh probably is the longest place I've lived outside of Nashville. From Pittsburgh, I went to Chicago. That's where I went to college. I went to Northwestern University. And then I moved to New York. I'm currently in New York.
Okay. And you got your start in doing stage plays. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, that started off when I was young. When I was in Nashville, my grandfather, who sort of like a predecessor to gospel music, he sang with a group called the Fireside Singers, which is way before, Bobby Jones and all those people. But his group was responsible for making the transition of gospel music to commercial. So I grew up listening to him on the radio and TV. So that kind of started the whole journey for us. So, pretty much everybody in my family is in the entertainment industry. I think I'm the only one that pursues it as a career, aside from my niece. But that started us off. My mother started acting. She was on stage for a while. So I used to go watch her on stage. Yeah, I was a little kid. I used to sit in the front row and watch mommy do her thing on stage. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got the acting bug. And then I started doing plays, from grade school all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's some of the best advice that your mom has given you? Because you say your mom has been on stage and entertainment, it runs in your family. So what's some of the best piece of advice that she's given you along the way?
Just do what you want to do. Follow your dream. Whatever you do, do it well. She never really led me into entertainment. It was just something that I wanted to do. I felt I wanted to do. And I actually started college, I started university pre-med. I thought I wanted to be a doctor, but then I fell back to, yeah, doing theater and doing film. So, yeah, she never really told me, you know, you have to do one thing. She just kind of let me grow and learn and explore and do whatever I wanted to do. Yeah, so I got to thank her for that too. I have to.
Absolutely. And outside of acting, you're also the artistic director and founder of 3SB Theater Co. LLC. Tell us a little bit about that.
Wow, man, this has been a long journey. 3SB was started back in 2000, 1999, actually.
Wow.
Three guys, yeah, two other guys and I decided we lived in New York and we wanted to, you know, do some theater. We weren't getting work, so we created our own work. You know, we got the rights to some plays, we produced, we acted, we directed in our shows, and it was pretty successful. The two other guys have no, you know, they're no longer in theater, but, you know, I LLC the name and carried it on, and, you know, I'm still doing my thing. One guy's a incredible painter. He found out he had another talent, so he's a painter, and the other one is a chef.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And after that, you decided to go on. You've done some commercials, you've done some modeling and things. What's it like for you when you're on set versus acting the modeling? Because I know for modeling, it is in a way, it's like acting. When you're on the runway, you transform into a completely different person. Or when you're doing commercials and things, what's running through your mind when you're on set?
That's interesting because, you know, I've sort of been modeling all my life, and I
All
feel
right.
like, you know, modeling has sort of taken me around the world. Um, it's incredible. I mean, the people you meet, the things you do, the confidence you have to have. Um, it's just been a great journey. Acting, on the other hand, is I feel like I'm reacquainting myself with acting right now because I've been out of acting so long. I've been off stage for so long, and just recently got back on stage, you know, with some incredible productions. I was honored to be sent a script here in New York, and it was a two-person play. It was called 20th Anniversary, written by a phenomenal writer who I had no idea was a writer. Um, he sent me the script and said, "Hey, take a look at this. And, you know, I would love to have you in it." And I said, "Oh, okay, this guy sent me a script. I don't even know he's a writer." I looked at the script and I was like, "Wow, man, this right here, this is what any actor would want to do." So I agreed to do this play. It's a two-person play. Like I said, it's called 20th Anniversary. Um, the writer's name is Marcus Harmon, by the way. So shout out to Marcus Harmon for writing this. But and it's about the 20th anniversary of two firefighters who lost their third best friend in the World Trade Center that happened here. So as last year was the 20th anniversary of that event happening, this play went up. And my character dealt with PTSD. So it's an emotional, you know, piece that just made me do the work, like do the work to make it happen. And we won an award for it, which was amazing.
Wow.
So I feel really proud about that, and I'm very thankful, you know, to have that in my back pocket and be asked to do that. So,
Incredible. It's all about manifestation. And speaking of
absolutely.
manifestation, tell us about One Mic Night, which has been running for 11 years, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us a little bit.
16
16?
years, yeah.
Wow.
I think, yeah, I think that's what people pretty much know me from. So One Mic Night is started out as a live artist platform in the West Village here in New York. Um, it was started to give artists a platform to perform, an open mic, an artist showcase. So I was a manager in a restaurant in the West Village, and it was slow there. And I said, "Hey, you know, let me see if I can get some live music here, maybe get some business." So I called up a friend who was a guitar player. Her name is Maritri Garrett. Shout out to Maritri Garrett, who's been by my side all this time. Uh, so she came in with her guitar. You know, she was playing her guitar. We kicked the door open. Some people walked in and like, "Hey, this is really nice." So I said, "Hey, Maritri, why don't next week you invite some more musicians? I'll invite some actors, some poets, and we'll see what happens." Long story short, it turned into a huge event in this tiny restaurant in the West Village. Well, above the restaurant was residential. So some of you guys might know this guy. His name is Corey Glover, who's in Jesus Christ Superstar, and he's the lead singer
Yes.
for a group called The Living Color, right? So Corey Glover came in that night, and he sang a few songs, and he blew the roof off of the place. So the neighbors came down, and they were like, listen, we like the music, we like what you're doing, but you gotta go. So they kicked us out. They said, you can't have it here anymore. So that particular night, a club owner came in. He had a club in the East Village. And he said, yo, man, this is great. If you ever need a place, let me know. I went outside. I was like, Chris, guess what? We just got kicked out of this place. Can we come to your spot on Monday? He's like, yeah, no problem. So I moved it to the East Village, the Lower East Side. And it ran there for, probably like 11, 12 years. And independent bands, Grammy Award winning artists came through. It was this huge, huge platform for independent artists here in New York. So since the pandemic happened, I stopped it. Obviously, you couldn't have performances, so I switched it into a podcast. So now it's One Mic Night Podcast. Yeah.
And I know this took a turn because I have family in New York. It took a turn on everybody in New York when this thing happened, the shutdowns and everything.
Shut down everything.
Yes.
So then you think, what do you do? And you switch it to a virtual thing because everything's virtual now. So
Yes.
How do I take this live platform and switch it into something virtually? And I'm a storyteller, I'm a filmmaker, so why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I interview people? Why wouldn't I tell their stories, and document their lives and things like that? So One Mic Night is now a podcast.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Because it's difficult for a lot of people to come up, this has hit everybody hard by storm.
Really hard.
Like, we was not expecting this to happen.
Right.
So with everything being virtual, do you ever feel that, do you ever miss that feeling of being in person, just the energy of the crowd and so many different things? Do you ever feel that pressure? It's just like, wow, I miss it.
Of course, because, when you're doing theater, when you're doing live shows, that's what it's about. It's the energy. It's the immediacy
Yes.
of the feedback from the crowd. Every show is different. You can do the same show 8 times a week if you're on Broadway, but the response from the crowd is different every single time. So you miss that. You need that energy. That's what you feed off of. Of course you miss it. I miss going to live performances. I miss seeing my friends. However, I will say, though, during the pandemic, it was really good because I got a chance to see more of my friends because I didn't have to go anywhere. I could click, and people were having virtual performances. I could tune in to Alvin Ailey and see dance performances for free. You could take, museum tours virtually. So it actually allowed you to see a lot more. You don't have the same energy, but you at least get to experience, some shows and things. So yeah, I miss it.
Yeah.
I definitely miss it.
So how have you been managing with this, with this craziness that's going on with this pandemic? I know it's taking everybody by storm as well. It's been difficult for a lot of people. That separation anxiety with being away from their family members. So how have you been managing it thus far?
It's kind of a double-edged sword because I think, like I just said, you miss the energy of live events. You miss socializing. You miss going out and, maybe having a drink or seeing some live performances. But at the same time, you want to be safe. At the same time, you miss human connection. You miss seeing your friends. Yeah, we can have a Zoom party. Yeah, we can talk on social media, but you actually miss that human connection. I miss it. I just moved my mother here. She was living on the West Coast, and yeah, she was supposed to move here before the pandemic started. And finally, she's finally here after, 2.5, 3 years of waiting for this pandemic to go down. She's finally here. So you miss that connection. I miss seeing her for 3 years.
Thank God. Again, thank God for that,
Right.
The power of technology, being able to socialize with different, you mentioned Zoom meetings and like how we're doing right now via Instagram Messenger. Me and my family, we have a whole group on Messenger where we keep in touch with each other. And my cousin's the only one text away, the only one phone call away. So that's how we've been keeping in touch with each other.
Right. And that's important. It's important. And I think that's one of the things that came out of the pandemic too is, people, you have a self-realization. You have time to sit. You have time to think, well, what am I going to do now? This is going on for 2.5 years. How can I change my life to make it better? What am I missing in my life? Who am I missing in my life? What's important? You really have a chance to sit in yourself and understand who you are. So I think if a lot of people, left their jobs, a lot of people created new jobs, created new ways of living. And it was a really important time. It really was a double-edged sword. It really was a double-edged sword.
And you've mentioned in the beginning of the interview, one of the characters that you portrayed had PTSD. We talk a lot about mental health on this show, on this platform, me and my co-host. Shout outs to Johnny as well. How have you been managing with that? And what advice would you give to someone who's suffering with that? Because again, that's separation anxiety. Someone in the comments just said it. Shout outs to Liz. She said, so true. The human connection is inviolable. It's difficult for a lot of people with being away from their families. And I'm a very affectionate person. I love to hug and give hugs and receive them and things like that. So I'm just like, ugh. But thank God I have that, I'm able to still communicate with my family, like my mom. She's here with me. My grandmother, I get to see her. My aunt, I still get to hug them and things like that. We're safe. We always keep it in a small group to a minimum. We don't, go out and things like that. Some people don't have that. So what advice would you give to someone who's suffering with separation anxiety, mental health and things like that?
Listen, first of all, mental health is important. Number one. I have a number of friends who are fighting mental health problems. It's okay. It's okay. You can be up one day, you can be down one day. The important thing is to deal with it. Take the step, get some help, talk to someone. We all probably need therapists. We all do. We all have issues. We all need somebody to talk to. It's okay. But you cannot do anything in this life unless you're okay yourself. So, I always live by this rule. God comes first, or the universe, whatever you believe in. I come second. My friends and family come third and fourth. Because if I'm not okay, I can't help anyone else. I can't do anything for anyone. I can't even do anything for myself. So during this time, I had time to sit and figure out a lot of things about myself. And what we were talking about before, the end of 2021, I had a rough time because I got COVID 2021. So that was a whole situation for me, like one whole week that I had a breakdown. And it's okay, because you sit and you think, why is this happening to me? Okay, it's okay. What am I going to do? How can I change it? Where am I going after this? What's important to me? And you have time to figure it all out. And then you come back up, but it's okay to be not okay. But I say, definitely you need to get help. I have to say, one of the people watching right now, Liz Menezes, who's a friend of mine, she's a warrior. She's going through some deep things right now. She posts on Instagram. She's dealing with cancer. She's a good friend of mine. I've known her for a long time. I reach out to her every day to make sure she's good. We have to have these type of human connections in life. It makes us strong. It makes them strong. We're stronger together.
That's right. And
Yeah.
that was the whole motto when this thing started. Even the President Joe Biden, he said that, we're stronger together 100%.
Absolutely.
And Liz, you're in a safe space, so you're welcome to the dollhouse. The dollhouse is a safe space for everyone to come, and whatever it is, you're getting access to my velvet rope, things that I talk about, experiences that I've had, and you guys share some of your experiences along the way for the new viewers that are just joining in. And this is real. This is something real, because people have literally been depressed and sad. It's mentally draining to some people to have to hear
Absolutely.
about all these new guidelines, precautions and things. It's like every day is something new. So people just need hope. And especially in this day and time, we need hope, especially for people of color, for us as Black and brown people. When it comes to mental health, we're just like, nah, there's nothing wrong with me. You just need to talk about it. You need to talk to God about it. But like you said, if you believe in someone, for me, I believe in God. Every morning I get up and I do my morning devotion. And that's why I'm so grounded and so level-headed. People ask me all the time, Miss Stevie, how come you're so peaceful and unbothered and zen? I have my demons. I struggle with anxiety every now and again. But for me lately, is I'm happier. And you guys can see that. Everybody can see that. When you find that place, that sacred place for you, that makes you happy, where you're at peace, you're at ease, there's not a care in the world. Stick to that place. And I've been finding things to do outside of just, sitting up in the house looking at it all. It's a pandemic going on. No, look at it as positive, because without this thing, I wouldn't have had the connections with people, have gotten to know people, just as of recently.
Right.
So I'm kind of thankful for that. And I'm thankful for technology to be able to reach out to my relatives, my cousins, and my sister if I need to. Or I sent a request to join you briefly. Sure, Liz.
Come on in.
Hi.
Welcome,
Hi,
welcome. Welcome to
Liz.
the dollhouse.
Hi, Marcos. Marcos is an invaluable, dear friend of mine. Dare I say he's like family to me. Incredible human being, incredible talent. Um, and he is a go-getter. Since I've known him, um, all I've seen him is do push forward. And he dips into different things because you never know what's going to open a door or help someone out or things like that. But he's been a constant. I've never seen him stop do his work to excellence. And I'm so appreciative that we became friends so many years ago.
Me too.
So many years
So many
ago,
years ago.
so many years ago. And it was a curious situation. Remember the days of MySpace?
Way back
Oh,
in
yeah.
MySpace. Yeah.
That platform.
Hilarious.
Marcos actually found me and discovered me through MySpace and reached out to me in regards to my singing. He was doing One Mic Night, a live series, which I hope, Marcos, that you someday bring back. And he was selflessly giving a platform to artists,
Yes.
poets, actors, singers, and musicians. Um, just opening this platform for us to be able to perform, and those that were hungry for the arts to be able to see artists that they've never seen before. And he invited me to this platform, and since then it's been an unbreakable connection that we've had. And I just want to say here, Marcos, thank you so much. He does reach out to me. I reach out to him. And it's resonating. What both of you are saying is resonating deeply because we were thrown into this mixing, a boiling soup, shall we
Yes.
Yeah.
say,
Hmm.
of a pandemic, right? And we, through this, have discovered that we actually do need each other and we carry each other.
Absolutely.
Um, and the human
Absolutely.
connection is essential
Yeah.
and needed.
Hmm.
And I did, it's something, let me say this. I used to take the train frequently, right? And during my chemo sessions, I would take the train by myself. Now, this was at the peak of the pandemic, and there was no one in sight. That we were all on a lockdown. People were passing away left and right. There was not a soul on the train in New York. And New York is it's like a beehive. It's congested
Right.
constantly.
Mhm.
There was no one. I remember that I got on the train and I was the only one for cars and cars and cars of the train. Yet this is something that I had desired. Look how the human mind is. I used to say, "Oh, geez, it's so crowded. I can't take it. I want to get out of this city." I used to say that before the pandemic. Why is it so crowded? People on top of each other. I can't breathe. But then when I was submersed in the midst of a pandemic, going to chemo sessions, and I was by myself on this train, I said to myself, this is lonely. I wish the train was crowded.
Right.
I wish there was that musician on the train or the children arguing, where is everyone? So for a period of 2 years, we were thrown into isolation. And I hope that this globally taught the human race that we need to care for one another.
We absolutely do. We absolutely do.
You
Miss
know,
Stevie, you have to bring Liz on and interview her one day.
Absolutely.
oh,
Okay.
Absolutely. Just let me know.
thank you.
Send me a message. You're welcome
Thank
to the
you.
dollhouse.
And I don't want to I talk a lot. One thing that Marco started in the midst of the pandemic is the podcast that he has.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it against all odds. And we're like, what now, Marcos? What are you now? Three seasons in?
Season 3, yep.
Need I say more? Need I say more? I say no more. Against all odds, we can do. And I love the fact that the dollhouse is bringing this into perspective, because we see a lot of people posting live material, and it's all it's, most of the time it's derogatory or against each other, or it's just why,
Yeah.
and you're bringing something to the forefront that people are afraid to discuss. We need each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We
Yep.
need each other, and I think that it's about time that we realize that we went through a whole bunch of stuff during these 2 years, from racial interactions to, diplomatic interactions to, death on a global scale. So, I'm going to shut up because Marcos, this is your interview. So I don't want to, continue to speak too much,
The dolls are agreeing with you. They're saying shout outs to K-Tubes85. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to my brother's channel. The K-Tube Spot is another platform to check out. Another amazing talk show. Shout outs to K-Tubes. He said amen on that statement. The audience is agreeing with you. Like everybody's supporters is coming in,
Right.
and they're enjoying the conversation and they're engaging. And
Absolutely.
that's what the dollhouse Style by Stevie here is for.
Well, let me ask you this. What prompted the name Dollhouse? I love it.
I call them, you know how everybody has their name for their supporters on their YouTube channels. Like let's go with Beyonce, for example, Queen Bee. Beyonce calls her fans and her supporters the Beehive. I came up with the fashion dolls because I love fashion. I'm always changing up my look, and the audience, they live for it. So I love glamour, I love beauty, I love so many different things. And I said, why not call them the dollhouse? Why not call, this the dollhouse? Because you guys get an inside look into my velvet rope, things that I like, people that I love, people that I admire, people that inspire me, and we all just feed off of each other's energy. So I said, why not call it the dollhouse? It's a peaceful place, and it's safe for everybody to come in and tell their story and their experiences without judgment. And this is a judgment-free zone. Everybody here is welcome as long as you have love in your heart. So I said, why not call it the dollhouse? It would be perfect. So that's how the concept came about. Yeah.
I love it because,
Brilliant.
you're talking about, it's a welcoming into, you like fashion, you're welcoming people into your private space. And it's like you're dressing us up with love, and awareness. And you're bringing up, great, spirited individuals such as Marcos. And I think it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
And
Absolutely.
we love it. Stuck with them for years.
Marcos, can you tell me a little bit about your TikTok situation?
Oh, TikTok
because
is
I
going
follow
crazy
you on
right now.
TikTok.
Miss Stevie, TikTok is going crazy right now. That's my new obsession. So I'm on TikTok like crazy. Listen,
Yes.
it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. You go to TikTok and have fun. It's a way for expression, self-expression. I do Black history. I do
I
dance.
love that.
I do lip syncing. I do comedy. That's what it's for. You be free. You know what I mean? Connect with other people who are content creators, who are creating things. Just be free. Be yourself. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
And
that's
it's
what
a
it's all
great way
about.
to bring awareness. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, be
I
yourself.
love something you're saying, Marcos. So something that we don't know about you that you can say here live, what would that be?
Something you don't know about me. I don't know. I think I'm pretty open with everything. I mean, my that I depend on my friends a lot. I'm very connected with people. So even though I have a huge group of people throughout the years that I've brought together with One Mic Night, most of them I'm still in touch with. I reach out to people constantly. You know, there's a huge network of people that I have, and I have to admit that there's a huge network of people. And I feel, when people like Liz come on and say, thank you for giving me a spot, my first, open mic in New York City to help shape my life.
Yes.
I get that all the time. It's just connecting with people. And, I'm encouraged by other people's artistry. It inspires me. So I make it a point to stay in touch with people,
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And you know what, Marcos, you've been there through some major pivotal points in my life.
Yeah.
Major pivotal points.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, my first music video, I'm gonna say it like this: I can't act. I'm just not. And I invited Marcos to the first filming ever of a video. And I could not for the life of me do a scene with Marcos. And it was a very simple scene. And Marcos was trying to coach me. And he's like, just relax. I'm like, listen, I can't do this. I mean, I'll sing, I'll dance, but I can't act, And he was so gracious and so kind, and professional to come onto the set. But, he gave me my first performance ever in New York. Forever grateful. I got to test out my performing chops as a singer-songwriter. He was there for the first video that I ever attempted. He's been there, to my shows more than once, and it's just, I don't know how to, you will forever have me. However I can help you, however I'm always going to be there. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And
Likewise.
it's wow, I cannot wait till things are a little bit more normalized. They're starting to get there, but that we can all meet up and just go and have a feast.
Right.
All of us just sit there and just enjoy and, just celebrate friendship. That would be so good. That would be so good. Oh my goodness.
It's coming.
And
It's coming
Marcos,
soon. And that's
it's
the thing
coming
is,
soon.
I see the light at the end of the tunnel, so it's all coming.
Yeah.
It's coming soon.
Yeah. And Marcos, you saw me with no hair. Look at this now. Look at this now, Marcos. So, it's a wonderful thing. I just wanted to come on and say hi, hello. And I don't want to take more of the space. Marcos, this is your interview. This is your moment. Shine. And thank you so much for bringing me on. And I'll leave now, but much love to everyone and thank you.
Thank you. I'll call you
Bye.
later. I'll call you later.
Call me. Llámame. Oh, you speak Spanish, don't you?
All right, yeah. Me? Yes. Claro.
Me llamas.
Okay.
Me llamas.
Está bien.
Ciao.
Take care. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Liz, and I see Maurice Lochner. I did an interview with Maurice Saturday. You've seen him in a couple Tyler Perry features, so definitely go and check out that interview. He was so transparent, and it was just an amazing interview overall. So, shout outs to Miss Angela Renee. I see all of my supporters. Hi, everybody coming in. Valone88, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Please go and check out Valone's YouTube channel. But we were talking about the human connection in case you guys missed it. And, with this pandemic going on, being separated away from your friends and family, and how the pandemic has took a toll on people being away from their families and just finding that balance of staying happy. I'm glad that you've mentioned TikTok, because TikTok has been a way for people to keep in touch with family as well. It's been a way to keep people kind of focused off of what's going on outside, the real world, to kind of shift just a little bit.
You need balance. You need balance. And I think, something like comedy and having fun and dancing and your family together dancing in a video, stupid, fun, those kind of things bring us back to balance with all the craziness that's going on in life. And yeah, to go to TikTok and have fun. Be yourself. It doesn't matter. Just, yeah, we need to find that balance in our life, so we can reconnect with ourselves. Not just connect with other people, but connect with yourself. And I think during this time too, I've learned a lot. My goal for 2022 is to learn as much as possible. That's what I do every day. I learn something new every day. So, in learning over the pandemic, I started learning about the stock market. I started learning about, how to increase my wealth, buy property. You know what I mean? Like things that are going to increase my generational wealth. So my little brother has something. So, you know what I mean? So people have something. We delved into the stock market and, made some money. These are the things that we need to do for ourselves, for our people, for our culture, to move forward. It's important. I'm not saying that money's the most important thing, but we need to have some freedom, and space to live, and share.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Educate yourself, find something to do instead of just sitting up in the house. With me, this platform is definitely keeping me active. It's keeping me, alert and making sure that other people are alert on what's going on inside the real world and aware, more importantly, as Liz mentioned.
Absolutely.
All right, Fashion Dolls, you know what time it is. It is time for 2 games. We're going to get into 2 games with Marcos, and then we're going to take some questions from the audience. You're more than welcome to type it in the bubble below or type it in the comment section. The first one is, I'm going to talk about the Rapid 5. So Marcos has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without.
Oh,
and the next
God.
one is going to be turn the tables. So this is where my guests get to ask me questions, uncensored, unfiltered, as many as they would like. I'm a little nervous. So we're going to start with the Rapid 5. What are 5 things that you can't live without?
Family, my friends. I hate to say this, but my phone, my music, and this beard.
All right. That's 5.
Yeah. How about that?
Okay. All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are Marco's 5 things that he can't live without. It is time to turn those tables. And this is where my new viewers, if you're just watching, you get to know more about me, the hostess, things that I like, things that I don't like. So this is giving you a little bit more insight and across the level to get to know Miss Stevie a little bit better. So I'm going to hand it on over to Marcos, and Marcos is going to ask me some questions.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I ask my guests. The first question that I ask them. Who is Miss Stevie?
Who's Miss Stevie? She's a woman who's not perfect at all. She has her flaws. She has her mistakes. And she battles a lot of demons head on. She's been through trials and tribulations to get where she's at. She's a warrior. She's a goddess. She's invincible. Invincible meaning whatever you throw at her, whatever trauma or pain that she feels, she tackles it heads on. She's cried, she's wept, she's been angry, but overall, she's one of the most powerful women in the world. That's who Miss Stevie is.
All right. Wow. What is your biggest fear? What's your biggest fear?
Someone asked me this yesterday. It was Charles Divins. He asked me the same question. What was my biggest fear? And I'll say it again. Losing in life. I've always been like an overachiever since I was 8 years old. I wanted to be, mommy's favorite, daddy's favorite. I always wanted to be on top. And now I can say I'm here. I'm arrived. I'm on top. You don't have to compete with your relatives or your siblings anymore. You don't have, there's nothing to lose. You've got your family here. You've got your parents here. Be thankful that they're here for you 100%. And that's the best advice that I would have to say. Oh, the light came on and off. So I guess that's a sign. Like, what do you have to lose for? No, you're not losing. You're winning in life.
Yes,
you don't have to compete for anything. Shout outs to D Brown, actor, singer. I see you, boo.
I love that. I love it.
Yes.
What's your dream job? What would you like to be doing?
My dream job. It would have to be something in the field of fashion. I would love to design. I actually would. I would love to get up and design, learn how to sketch, learn how to sew. I can put outfits together, because I don't have a stylist. That's the truth right there. A lot of people want to know, do you have a stylist or I dress myself. I put the looks together. I find inspiration. So if you guys go to my stories or here on Instagram, you're seeing that I'm always posting some sort of vintage inspiration, whether it's from Isadine Alaya or the late Terry Mugler. I hate saying the late because he was such an amazing fashion designer. You guys know that I love Terry Mugler. Or Victoria Beckham or Sierra or Beyonce. I'm always finding some sort of inspiration from somewhere. So my dream job would to be a fashion designer. That would be my dream job. It would be something in the field of either beauty or fashion. So yeah.
Little known fact, you said Terry Mugler. For those of you out there and those of you who know me, ask me what scent I wear the Terry Mugler scent for men. It's called Amen. I've been wearing it for years.
Okay,
Take a whiff.
Mine is Alien Goddess.
Alien
and
Goddess?
Willow Smith was the face of that one, yes.
Okay. Next question. Do you miss anyone right now? Is there someone you miss in your life?
My sister. My sister passed away in August of 2018 last year. And I know when June 29th rolls around, which is her birthday, it's difficult for me and my family, especially during the holidays. Like when Christmas holidays rolls around, it's difficult without her being there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
100%. Losing a sibling is a pain that no one wants to fathom. And I can see the look on my mama's face, because I know parents say this all the time. No, it's not my child's place to go yet. It's you don't want your child to go before it's your time to go. And it's not my mom's time to go. But just seeing that look on my mom's face, because my mom is a Libra, I'm a Scorpio, and I feed off of her strength because she's such a strong woman. She raised me to be a strong woman. So seeing that look on my mom's face that day we had to do the funeral for my sister was just, I said, yeah, this is, and my father always tries to be the strong, and as any other father would, try to be the strong one and bring, what's the word that I'm looking for? Civilization and order to a home. To see his face, he was just like this. He shook his head. But my mom, seeing that look as they closed down the casket at my sister's funeral was just one that no parent, no child, no one ever wants to feel. So I would have to say my sister.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I feel like I've gone through the same thing myself. And the look on, your parents' face is probably the worst feeling that you can have, and to know that you have to be the strong one there to help them. It's the worst feeling, the worst.
100%.
Yeah.
And no parents to this day, because I know my mom would notice certain things that I would do, and we would both pick it up. Like, did you know my sister used to do that? Did you know your daughter used to do that? Did you know this was her favorite food? Did you know this? Like, we have something down here in South Carolina, and it's a thing everywhere. It's a cake called Sakatumi cake, and that was my sister's favorite. So every time my father brings one home, that's the first memory of her. And I noticed the way she would used to smile. She used to laugh. She was such a vibrant and happy person. And just certain things that she would do, her mannerisms, I would pick up off of that. And I'm just like, wow, I hope I'm not turning into a doppelganger. I can't replace her, but her spirit lives in me. And that's how everybody should have to see it when one of their relatives passes on. You know, your spirit and their legacy will live on through you forever. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's hard. You know, you have to find the happiness in those things, you know, when they pop up, and find the joy and the love in remembering, you know, what it meant to someone or how it reminds you of that person. You have to find that happiness. Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
I think that's all the questions I have for you. I don't have any more.
All
How
right.
do you keep your balance? How do you keep, you know, when we talked about this before, when you're stressed out or when you're feeling down and your mental health is not, you know, where it
Yes.
should be, how do you get yourself back to 100?
Prayer. I would have to say prayer, and I do my morning devotion. I read my Bible scriptures every morning. You see, I get up, I'm posting a Bible scripture because when I created my vision board back in 2021, I said I want to get in touch with myself more spiritually. Before, I would just do things on a whim. I would like meditate and things like that. But my mom said, "You're never too big. Don't ever forget that God has put you here where you're at. He's giving you all the success and everything that you needed. So don't ever forget to put God in your life sometimes." Those were her exact words, because me and my mom, we have conversations. And it's always good to get wisdom from someone who's experienced life, who's been through life more than you. You know, you're young and you're taking that wisdom and those jewels from them. So my mom has told me, you're never too big. Don't ever forget this industry can make or break you. And you don't forget to put God in your life and everything that you do. So faith keeps me grounded. And as you mentioned in the beginning, as we all talked about, is that soul connection with family. I'm thankful to have a strong, solid support system around me, not just with the fashion dolls here, but my family and friends outside of the show. 100%.
I love that. I love it. I do want to make one quick mention, if I can, about one of the projects that I'm working on. I Not only am I an actor, but I'm a producer, and I work with a company in the UK. It's called One Big Mop, and I want to give a shout out to One Big Mop. We're on our 6th film right now. Um, yeah, I've executive produced 3 of them, been in one, actually 2, and we have a new film project out right now. It's called Telltale Wink. It was shot in the UK over the pandemic, so unfortunately I wasn't able to go there on set, but I was working remotely. And I want to give a shout out to James Everett, who is the founder of the company, and he's the writer, and he produced this project. And it is incredible. So everybody, please look out for that. Right now it's in the independent film festivals. The first film festival coming up is the Cleveland International Film Festival. We just submitted it to the Cannes Film Festival, so hopefully we'll be on the road with that. So I'll be traveling with the film to promote the film. But yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to them because I've been working with them for so long, and we've done some really incredible projects. So
All right. So
yeah,
we definitely have to stay tuned and be on the lookout for that one.
that's right.
All right. It's question hour, fashion dolls. So you guys have any questions for Marcos? Go ahead and type them in the comments, or you can type them in the bubble. But that the turn the table segment today was a little bit deep. I didn't know Marco was going to go that deep. I tried not to tear up when he asked me who is Miss Stevie, because I've been through so much. I've been through a lot, and just to be that, someone said it in the comments. I think it was Angela. Angela said transparent. You're being transparent. Yeah, and that's what
Absolutely.
if you have a platform, my thing is this: you have to build that bond with your audience members, the connection with your supporters. Let them get to know you other than what other people's perceptions are. Let them be the judge of you themselves, and build that bond and that connection with them. Be as real as possible and down to earth.
I have to agree with you 100% because since I interview so many people, I was a little bit scared to come on the show and be interviewed because I'm not so used to giving my information. I'm more used to asking the questions. So for me to come on the show and to be transparent, it was a little difficult. And I'm really happy actually that Liz popped in for a minute because I'm very humble with what I do. I just work, and my goal is not to seek fame. It's not to seek, I don't want to be famous. I don't talk about all the things that I do. It's just what I do from the heart, and I'm an artist and that's what I do.
And yes,
Yeah,
it takes a
connect.
there's a price to get in this business if you want to be famous or make it big. And I'm not trying to do that.
I'm not either.
I could never. People ask, would you see yourself? I could see myself having a national television show, but now that you think of it, I'm happy where I'm at. Yeah. Because once you get a platform that big, millions of people worldwide and I wouldn't abuse my platform like I don't abuse my platform, thank God. I'm thankful to have a voice that I can feel free to express how people feel and things like that. But it's a big responsibility once you take that microphone on national television.
It's a huge responsibility. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you reach, like you said, you reach a lot of people, which is great. You know, I'm sure stories resonate with a lot of people too, but there's a responsibility that goes along with it. A huge responsibility.
100%. Yeah. 100%. And that's why I'm happy where I'm at. You know, if it happens, it'll all fall in line. But again, it'll be the same thing. I wouldn't abuse my platform or my microphone privileges or anything like that. It's a big responsibility, just like now. So, yeah. Any questions for Marcos Fashion Dolls before we conclude? Coming up next, Handsome Tay will be joining us. Then Wednesday, we have Romance and Kizzy, who is a tattoo model. So make sure you guys tune in Wednesday. We have 2 interviews tomorrow. So before we conclude this interview, do we have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, for Marcos? This was such a great conversation, and I hope a lot of people took something from this. Again, what Liz just mentioned, which is that soul connection with people, being not just in tune with people spiritually, but connected through the heart as well too, and the soul. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, and finding some sort of leaving people with value too. You know, when you connect with them, leave them with something valuable. You know, valuable.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I hope this helped a lot of people. I really did. I hope this helped a lot of people who was out here suffering with depression, so many different things. Again, people need comfort. People want some sort of normalcy. People want to feel, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Hope.
People want to feel at ease, because it's been such a heavy time, as Liz mentioned, with the political spectrum and racial inequality. It's so many things, and it's just like it's nonstop. It's something new every day. So as Marco mentioned, when he asked me the question in the Turn the Table segment, it's all about balance, finding balance that works
Find your
for
balance.
you.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we don't have any questions, because I don't see any, I'm going to let Marcos take it away. Is there any words of encouragement that you would like to give to people who are looking to do what we do, you know, with the hosting or acting, or because you produce as well too? What advice would you give them?
I just say, you know, find your voice. You know, we have so many ways to say what we need to say. Find your voice. And what I just said, you know, give people something valuable. Give people knowledge. You know, it's not all about flashing the diamonds, you know, I look good. What are you leaving people with? What do you know, give them some sort of value in their life to help them. We're here to help each other. And we've been saying this all along. It's about connection. You guys, I see a couple of people on there. What's up, Joey? What's up, Joel? Salvatore? You know, you guys, everybody, drop into my DM. Say what's up. Say good morning. You know, we have to connect with each other. And you know, we're in this life together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stronger together. And people have to realize that you need a strong, solid support system. Let everyone know where they can follow you.
You guys, you can follow me at marcosluis everything. Best way to reach me is on Instagram, but I'm on TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. .com. You can find out what I'm doing with the films. Yeah, that's it. Go to IMDb, check out the movies, shows that I'm in, whatever you want. Marcos Luis, everything.
It was such a pleasure having you here, Marcos, and you're welcome back to the Dollhouse. You and Liz, reach out to me. Don't hesitate. Definitely. All right, Fashion Dolls.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. We will see you guys coming up next with Handsome Tay. He's going to be dishing some topics with me and 2 amazing performances. So stay tuned for that. Take care, Fashion Dolls. We will see you guys at 4. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.